Ahoy! Travis Thomas from Team Buffalo, here today with another episode of CEO Reviews, where we pull apart Reddit posts and look at what would we say about that, what would we have done as corporate coaches and leadership consultants, and what could you practically do if this happened to you. So it's all about tips, a bit of humor, and a bit of pulling apart a real problem, because these are real people's problems asking for real help. So let's get stuck in with the first one. So this one's called What to Do. I work with 3 employees. 2 are fine. The third one has lately been acting out inappropriate and disrespectful. Oh, that never happens.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Where we work, it's very hard to get fired. Oh my God. 3 sentences in. Yep, I've seen this before. Our admin did address it in a meeting though. It's Christmas time and it's creating stress in our workplace. I really want to reward the other 2 and get them presents, but what do I do for the third person? I'm not really sure what's appropriate. Super interesting, right? This notion of like, do I withhold incentives or rewards? This person's obviously not the boss, but for a colleague of mine, because they have bad behavior. Look, regardless of if they're team members or you're the boss or you're the CEO, one of the things I'm very against, because there's not good evidence to show it works and it just really pisses people off, is you do not withhold incentives without having had performance conversations beforehand, right? So this notion of once the annual review comes around, I will tell you that you didn't do good all year, didn't do well all year long, and now I'm not going to pay you for it. And also don't expect a raise.
I don't think you're going to be very happy with this.
Oh, great. All right, well, now I'm in a terrible mood. Let's do your performance review.
Oh, is that? What kind of workplace is that where it's like, sorry, it was difficult. I'm not going to tell you. You should know. And also, we're not going to pay you for it. Or everyone else gets bonuses or gifts. Nothing for you. That's terrible. You cannot manage performance that way. Now, that's the leadership side of it. If we come back to the employee side of it, who's asking this, someone on their team, I would say, look, whether or not the leader's on board, give the person the same level of gift you would give the other 2. I understand that they are not necessarily performing to the level you'd expect, and they might have made things a little bit difficult for you, but I can tell you a few things. 1, if you do not give them this, you will agitate the hell out of them, and they will recognize that, and they will come after you or make it difficult, or they'll just remember, which isn't great. 2 is that it's not the right way to have that conversation. So what I would suggest instead is that give them the gifts. Then once January or February, whenever rolls around, you feel primed to have that conversation. There's some real examples of where they're starting those bad behaviors again. I would meet with them and say, hey, look, I like working here. I hope you like working here too. We've been on the team together for X number of months and years. I want to like how we work together, and I feel like there's a few things where maybe we just haven't been on the same page. Can we have a chat about that? They might say no, they might say yes, but either way, I would still push through. And then when you get that conversation, I would cover things like, what are you objectively seeing? Ask things like, how can I help to make sure we work really effective together, rather than being against each other or feeling like you're kind of working here and I'm kind of working here and we're not really clicking. Look at the objective observations, what's really happening. Look at what you need from that person to feel like you're working better together, and then get some level of commitment from them. If not, then it could become a more difficult conversation, and possibly you might just need to loop in the leader to sort that out.
Stop it. Get some help.
Ooh, good topic. Please need help on dealing with a difficult coworker. Really topical. I think no matter how many years go by, having difficult conversations or courageous conversations or whatever the hell you want to call them will always be a topic. Because for as long as humans are in the system, humans will create healthy and unhealthy friction with each other, and being able to have a conversation about that is really hard. We don't like it as humans, so we need to get better at it as best we can.
No fighting. No fighting. No fighting. No fighting!
So what did they say? I work in an office as a mapping specialist, which sounds like a technical role. My coworker has been here 15 years and I've worked here for 6. Okay, so long working relationship. He is much older than I am and has been in the field quite a few years. First day I started, I was told by several coworkers to watch out because he is extremely jealous of me and is afraid I'm here to take his job. It's interesting to hear that from coworkers so quickly. He literally came into my office and told me to keep my fingers out of his pie. I haven't heard that phrase before. I get it. Okay, good, nice introduction to each other. Going to set a good foundation for a working relationship. And that he was indeed jealous of me. Well, yep, makes sense. I hardly knew him at the time and was still trying to get comfortable in a new workplace when all this was dropped on me. Fast forward to a year ago, and him and I had our job positions knocked down to mapping technicians. Demotions, man, like culture and the shit that causes, and that's another topic for another day. Fast forward again to this year's and a new supervisor. Okay, so their bosses changed. My coworker went immediately to the new supervisor and cried about his status and the need for a greater job title. Okay, so he's lobbied. He's played the political game and lobbied for a role. So he is now a lead mapping technician. This always reminds me of Dunder Mifflin, The Office with Dwight, who says, "I'm assistant regional manager."
Assistant to the regional manager.
Same thing.
No, it's not. It's lower. So
It's close.
It's like, it doesn't matter. And it's sad that that happened through lobbying rather than merit, but that's a whole different thing. Now, any big projects that come our department way get taken by him, and any small tasks he doesn't feel like doing, he sends to me. No, he's not my boss. My supervisor just recently sent me a thank you card for the work I've accomplished this year and has been waiting for me to have greater involvement in this team. That's not disappointing. I don't want to complain to my boss, sound petty, or throw anyone under the bus because I'm just not built that way. Awesome. I feel like something needs to be said though, but I have no idea how to handle the situation. How do I let my boss know I'm ready and willing for more participation and responsibility without creating workplace conflict? There's a lot of detail in it. It's super important, right? So summarize. Didn't start well working together. There's not a good working relationship there. It doesn't feel good, feels a bit jealous. Then the demotions happened, then there was a promotion of one because he lobbied, which is the political side. And now the new supervisor's kind of thanking you, but also not sure that they're on the same page and that you're really leaning into it. This is problematic, right? So there's a few things that we don't really like about this, and a few things that we go, okay, cool, that's good, we can deal with that. First, let's cover off the politics side of it. I don't want you to think that you need to go out and lobby and be political and all this, but you'd be crazy if you thought that politics in the workplace are not a real thing. If you don't like politics in the workplace, you can look for one that's more performance driven, but the reality is lobbying and advocating and silently whispering things you want will always be a part of most workplaces. What you need to understand is that if you're not prepared to play that game, as this person didn't, that's fine, but you need to understand that that could hinder, or you need to find a path that doesn't require as much political positioning. But you'll always need to be able to effectively advocate for yourself, which this person hasn't been able to do. So first thing I would do if I was this person, I would sit down with the boss almost immediately and go, hey, you wanted me to step into the team? Awesome. I'm super keen, love working here. I want to know what I can do to help. What specifically, in terms of behaviors, goals, whatever, would you like to see me working towards? What would signal to you that I'm on the right page, that I'm keen, that I'm a part of the team? Without that, you can't really fix this, right? Because this boss has this expectation. And you're also not going to want to just mirror this guy who you're having problems with, because you don't actually like or want to be that person. So find out what they want. Second is, if you feel like you should be a lead mapping technician as opposed to just a mapping technician, then the question has to be asked of your leader and of the organizations. I'm here, I've been here for 6 years, these are the skills I have. What's the gap between, like, what do I actually have to do to prove that I should be this person? And then what's the path to getting promoted to that? What do I need to do? Are there projects I need to lead? Are there certain customers I need to bring in? What is it that I need to get to that level? You're doing two things. You're signaling, one, that you're super interested in that. And two, you're going, ooh, there better be a way of measuring this, because we can't just give out promotions to people without having a clear way, or we will lose high performers. And the last thing I would consider doing is having a conversation with the lead around what they need from you. And you go, wait, the lead mapping technician? Yes, because they obviously have enough ability to farm work out in the way they see fit. Why not try to get them on side and see, well, what can I do to help you? What would make you look better? And, positioning towards their ego, and then help do those things so that way they are less adversarial towards you. Once that wall comes down a bit, you can then start to look at your career and moving around it. There's a whole number of strategies and coaching sessions we would have to do that. And I've helped a number of leaders do this, where you go, there's an adversary here, there's a leader here, it's the organization situation here is the thing I want to do way over here. How do we get this all lined up? So we really form up a strategy, we get clear on the actual steps that need to happen along the way, and we move them up that pathway. But unless you sit down and do that planning and really get clear on what each of the parties need, you're not going to be able to overcome these challenges, really. Short one. Is this wrong? I work in a pharmacy and every Thursday we get lunch paid for. It's a cool perk. I have celiac disease, which limits my places to eat. With everyone there knowing about this, I always suggest places that have gluten-free foods and that I know are safe. Good. My boss also loves these places, but she also goes out of the way to choose somewhere I can't eat from. It's a bit peculiar. I simply asked if I ordered something I could eat and get reimbursed since it's on the company's bill, if that would be okay. She laughed and said no. Am I being too sensitive about this? Should I talk with someone above her about it or just drop it? All right, look, as the leader, so if we step into that boss's shoes that she mentions there, you can't be seen to be giving out benefits or perks discriminately. You can't go, we'll go here, but if you've got problems, you've got health issues, which you've told us about, we're not going to accommodate you.
Not my problem.
That's not great, and that's not something we would want to see happening. There's a few easy ways they could accommodate that, whether it's some sort of voucher system that everyone gets and they go get lunch. I get a sense that the lunch being provided on Thursday is probably a team bonding thing. And if that's the case, how hard would it be to either go to a second place and pick up the food and everyone comes back, or to go, you know, we're just going to go somewhere where everyone can eat. Once you've disclosed that you have health conditions, workplaces should make a reasonable effort to accommodate that. And I'd argue that reasonable effort is just going to these places that accommodate. That's not that hard to do. If that's not the case, as it is here, and they're still struggling, we then look at, well, what can we do? We don't want to skip level as they ask and go straight to their boss. That's not going to go well. And it really isn't the thing you want to blow this up over. So instead we look at, can I have a conversation with them? Probably not on the Thursday or the Friday. I probably leave it till the Tuesday, the next week, and go, all right, we go out for lunch every Thursday. Really love that about this place. Love the team bonding. Love that we can go out and have a good time. Look, I've mentioned a couple of times I have celiac disease. It's not easy if we don't go to certain places. Food contaminants, it can be really problematic for me and it can cause me some health issues. I want to make it as easy for you as possible. What can I do to make sure that we choose celiac friendly places? And if we can't, here's some strategies I've thought about, like maybe a voucher or whatever it is, that will allow us to do that without ruining the time for the rest of the team. I don't want to be a burden, but I just have to disclose this and I have to ask, like, what can we do to find a solution? And then go from there, right? Don't bring up the point that they laughed it off last time. That could have been for any number of reasons. Don't bring up that you're feeling unhappy or you want to make a big deal out of it. It is a small thing in the moment, but it can feel like a big thing. So look at practically what do we need to do? And then how do we get the boss to just buy into some simple strategies that get us where we need to go? So those are today's 3 scenarios, real scenarios grabbed off of Reddit, as you see on the screen. The aim there was to give you some useful tips and help you start thinking about, as a leader, how do I navigate some of these things? What would be some of the nuance and what might my team be feeling? If you enjoyed that, if you want to check us out, you can jump on to teambuffalo.co and find out more about us and what we do. You can also hit subscribe below to follow for more videos. We're going to continue to release these videos and think they're always entertaining, as we've heard, and follow us on socials. Thanks for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you next time.